Tadej once again, I mean, the thing that I'm not struggling to get my head round, but the thing that is remarkable today was from the start house to the foot of the climb, Tadej was 4 seconds faster than anyone else.
I'm the 2012 Tour de France winner, Sir Bradley Wiggins.
And I'm Johan Bruyneel. I directed my teams to 9 Tour de France victories. Welcome to the Sir Wiggo and Johan Show, our daily show where we dive deep into the tactics behind every stage of the Tour de France. Welcome back, everybody, to our show, presented like every day by Ketone IQ. We're going to talk about stage 13 of this year's Tour de France, a uphill time trial from Ventum to Peyragudes, 10.9 kilometers. I guess not real surprises of who the winner was. But as every day, Bradley Wiggins with us. Bradley, how did you see the stage? What's your take of the day?
My take of the day, in an avoidance of talking about Tadej every day and him being my talking point of the day, of course he is. But I thought Jonas had a better ride. I was surprised he only lost 34 seconds after yesterday. I think a lot of us may have anticipated, the worst case fear in Tadej catching him for 2 minutes, but that wasn't to be. And I actually thought Jonas had a good day today. It doesn't change much for the next few weeks in the Tour. He's still 4 minutes behind now on GC. But in terms of giving Tadej a race, because Jonas is here to win the Tour, whatever, I don't think he's going to be happy with settling for second place. He's got nothing to lose, really. He's been second in the Tour before he's won the Tour. So it bodes well for the next 2 weeks of racing, or certainly the next 8 days of racing, 9 days of racing, with some quite hard summit finishes to come, that we may see Jonas and Visma, really make it difficult for Tadej and not hand this Tour to him on a plate.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised by Jonas's performance after yesterday, and it's clear, and he also said that in his interview after the stage, that yesterday he really had a bad day. He acknowledged that he was far off his best, and today he was close to his best. And so I think it's really good for the race, Bradley, because if today we see another huge defeat, I mean, he's defeated, but it's not a big defeat of Jonas, right? So I think it keeps the race alive, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And on that, I'm going to talk about one of our first sponsors of this show. This is the Zwift, recently rolled out its new cog and clicked product. It's such a simple yet brilliant product. You can use it almost on any bike that you already own, even one from Walmart, and still feel like you're on a top-end smart trainer. Zwift ready trainers are available from all the top manufacturers: Wahoo, Garmin, Elite, Jet Black and Decathlon, setting a new benchmark for indoor training. All Zwift ready trainers come with the new Zwift Cog and Click installed, making them ready to ride from the box. No extras needed. So simple, and no need to remove your cassette. Zwift ready trainers start at just $299, meaning anyone can jump into a world-class indoor training without breaking the bank.
Good, Bradley. So, yesterday, we already talked a little bit about it, but obviously today was a very, very important stage. Some people even said it was the most important stage of the Tour. I don't think it's the most important stage, but still, the situation before today's time trial, after yesterday's stage, was quite special, I think, and especially from a mental point of view. I would say, Tadej was on top, Jonas knocked down, but got back up. Yeah. And then we had this interesting battle between Remco and Lipovitz and Oscar Onley and Johannesson. Now today we saw that Primoz is back in the game. So how do you think everybody of these, especially the main 3-4 guys, how do you think they woke up this morning? How do they approach this day?
Well, I mean, look, it's the Tour de France. We know what it's like to ride the Tour de France. The Tour de France is a long race, and we always say it's a long race, and on paper, Tadej is the best rider in the world, perhaps the best rider we have ever seen in the sport, or he's some way to that. And the Tour de France at this stage now, the time gaps are what they are, and you can't get too bogged down with looking at the GC every night at your hotel and thinking, God, how am I going to make 4 minutes up? At some point, you've got to forget about the time gaps. And it becomes a psychological battle in some cases. So for Jonas, he's going to be wanting to go out every day, regardless of the time deficit already at this stage of the Tour, and improve on yesterday's performance. and look to improve every day or have some really good days and know that he'll probably have a bad day at some point, and just hope that Tadej, he sees a chink in Tadej's armor at some point, and pray that Tadej has a bad day when Jonas is having a good day. And so at this stage now, that although Tadej won the stage today, Jonas was closer. So I'm not saying that Tadej's going to be affected by that, but in Jonas's mind, going back to the hotel tonight, he's limited his losses as best he could. He lost 34 seconds to Tadej today, which is not a lot, you know. And he caught Remco, which is a psychological improvement for him on yesterday. So that was a good day for Jonas, and that's all he can hope to do from this stage on now is continue having good days like that. And from his point of view, it's been a win today because he's not lost a huge amount of time to Tadej. He's gained time on all of his rivals behind him, and so this tour, you know, isn't over yet. And I think from his point of view, psychologically, he's going to continue to ride like this and try and I'm not saying expose Tadej or put timing to him, but just remind Tadej on a daily basis now that I'm not going anywhere. I'm not giving up this fight, and I'm going to still be here, you know, and pushing you all the way to Paris.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for Jonas, you know, you can say, oh, okay, how can I make up 4 minutes? But you're actually right. You know, every day you start over and you try to get your best performance. You know, they're so focused on the numbers, and you could see a change in his demeanor. He was obviously super, super tired, but you know, he was happy that he put out one of his best performances ever today. And I think that's ultimately the way you could potentially try to have a chance to win. You know, you try to have your best performance in the key stages, and you hope that one day the other guy has a bad day. That's the only thing I can do, in my opinion, right?
Yeah. And as a team, they had a good day all round. You know, Matteo did a good ride, finished sixth today.
Yes,
which was an improvement on yesterday, and it looked like, from what, you know, looking at the interviews and the quotes of riders, what they're saying, most of the Visma team had a bad day yesterday. Individually, they had a bad day collectively as a team because Tadej won in the way he did. But listening to the individual, you know, interviews of the riders, they had a bad day. You know, you said Jonas had a bad day. Matteo was very clear he had a bad day in his interview, and so you know. You have very few bad days in the Tour de France when you're in the top 10, but as we know, you will have one or two bad. If that's their bad days out of the way, then there's still to race for this Tour. I mean,
Before the stage, also we were talking a lot about the equipment choices, Bradley. You know, so we had Remco on a TT bike with no TT helmet. Jonas full TT except a disc wheel. You know, the time trial bike, time trial helmet, Lipovitz on a time trial bike, and Roglic on a time trial bike. And then you see Pogacar, he's on an aero road bike. I saw somewhere it's a modified aero bike at 6.9 kilos. So, you know, the lightest it can be. What do you think of those choices? I mean,
well, look, you know, it's you know, there's a lot of thought, you know, that goes into these equipment choices from these teams, you know, and it's a year in the planning, you know, planning this stuff. They've got, as we know, they have specialist aerodynamicists. They've got specialists in equipment choices and people working with the team. You know, at Bora Hansgrohe, Red Bull, they've of course got Dan Bingham, who's an expert in that field in performance and aerodynamics and equipment choices. So, you know, these people are experts in what they do, and they would have studied this. They would have looked at the control, you know, months in advance, and made these gear, you know, these selections off of the equipment they have available to them. Because let's not forget, Specialized don't have an aero bike; they have the mountain bike, the climbing bike, and they have the time trial bike. Now, once again, you know, all their equipment choices are all put into question because of the performance of Tadej on the equipment Tadej used. If you take Tadej out of the equation, seemingly the first 4 or 5 guys were all on aero bikes, on time trial bikes. So actually, it wasn't that bad a selection. Roglic, I thought, had a great performance today and has moved himself into a potential podium in this Tour in the next few weeks, or next week or so. I thought Lipovitz did the ride of his life today on a time trial bike.
Really good.
Remco was off his game. Whether he'd have been on a road bike or a time trial bike, he just didn't have it physically.
That's true.
And Tadej, once again, you know, I mean, the thing that I'm not struggling to get my head around, but the thing that is remarkable today was from the start house to the foot of the climb, Tadej was 4 seconds faster than anyone else.
Anybody on those time trial bikes, and on top of that, we know that Remco, for example, started out with full motivation. He was up there he had the second best time, right, at the first split.
And Tadej averaged 27 miles an hour to the foot of the climb, and then continued to take time out of everybody by every kilometer.
I mean, to talk about those time trial bikes, before the start, I would say my thought was, hey, this just makes no sense. These time trial bikes. But then thinking about what I learned yesterday at the Tour, that aero bikes are actually more effective already at 20 kilometers per hour, more or less. Yeah. If you see the average speed on this climb, it's 27, 28 kilometers, the first guys.
Yeah.
And on top of that, and as you say, Bradley, these guys have trained this. This is not, they don't test anything here. They know, right? I think when I saw an interview of Klaas Lodewijk before the start, I mean, now it's actually not so relevant because Remco had a counter performance, but he said, they tested everything. They modified the position a little bit. So, it's not the exact time trial position as if it would be completely aero all the time. But these guys just are able to produce the same kind of power on their time trial bikes. I mean, if you see the amount of and we talked about it, Bradley, Jonas was on the rest day on his time trial bike. So that was for a reason. But if you see these images when he's on altitude training camps, how many times he is uphill on his time trial bike, they're all the time on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's proven today that we were wrong. Me at least, I was wrong. Second, third, and fourth are on time trial bikes, and Tadej doesn't really matter which bike you give him, right? It's if he would have been on a time trial bike, I personally think he would probably have been faster also. But anyways, his bike is actually also very aero. It was just his position that was a bit different. But yeah, interesting choices. And those speeds, man. I mean, up Pere Sourde and then Pere Agude, which is extremely steep and having 28, 29 kilometers average. That's pretty impressive. Before we go on, Bradley, I want to talk about Ketone IQ, our presenting sponsor. It's proven that ketones are being widely used in endurance sports, especially in the Tour de France. My personal preferred format is the 10-gram shot, no caffeine, no sugar. Take one in the morning, then one before my ride, and sometimes even one in the middle of my ride. It boosts athletic performance. In a study with trained athletes, Ketone IQ has found that ketones boost average sprint power by 19%, peak power by 13%, gut fatigue by 10%, and spiked blood ketones 5 times in just 20 minutes. It's also been proven scientifically that it's good for a faster recovery, something that Tour de France riders can use a lot. Ketone IQ, as we know, teamed up with Visma-Lease bike and also with the University of Leuven to explore recovery and high altitude adaptation. Their key findings are improved blood flow, higher muscle oxygenation, and better endurance and stamina. So go to ketone.com and enter the code THEMOVE20 for 20% off. Ketone.com, THEMOVE20 at checkout for 20% off. The results, Bradley. Time trial is sometimes a bit difficult to go into detail about analyzing everything, but so Pogacar wins. Jonas is second at 36 seconds. Primoz is fourth at 1 minute 20, and Lipovitz is fourth at almost 2 minutes. As we said yesterday, we after his exhibition yesterday on Otakam, we could have said, and we were even talking, hey, he's probably going to see Jonas. He never saw him. So I think Jonas did a great ride. Do you think Pogacar would be disappointed with his result of today? He wins the stage, obviously. But do you think, I mean, I think at least maybe we built up the expectation a bit too much, and that's also obviously so. Tadej's responsibility because he's been spoiling us with monster performances, right?
I don't think so. I think that they will work every day. They will go out and work on the basis that Jonas is going to have one of his best days compared to last year, and in terms of numbers. When but they like to put him in a position where he has to find that out for himself. So yesterday, if Jonas was on a good day yesterday, Tadej would have found that out. But obviously, knowing now that Jonas was on a bad day and Tadej attacked at the foot of the climb, he could maximize his time gain on Jonas. But today, no, I think Tadej, if that was Jonas on a good day today, Tadej has still put 34 seconds into him.
Exactly.
So Tadej's just going to work on anything more than that is a bonus.
Yeah.
But that shows the true numbers. Yeah. And don't forget, Tadej, we always talk about Jonas with the Jonas thing. We don't know if Tadej is having bad days based on his crash the other day. Tadej had that fall the other day. We questioned, there was talk that he had a cold as well, and he still did what he did yesterday on that climb.
And today could actually have been the worst day after the crash. Normally it's, exactly until 72 hours after. So, I mean, I saw the interview of Giannetti afterwards, and then you see how much detail they have put into the preparation, right? I mean, I even saw a feature on the bike that I was going to use. A journalist published like a whole bunch of pictures and a video that he had been given access by the team to the paddock of where they were, and taking pictures of the bike he was going to use. And it was the aero bike, the Colnago aero bike, but it was the white bike. So this guy just published all the pictures. This is the bike Pogacar's going to ride. It was like an hour before the start. Then Pogacar shows up at the podium with a black bike, no paint. So no, they put a lot of detail into the preparation. They have left no stone unturned.
Yeah. I mean, Tadej now is also within 30 points of Jonathan Milan for the green.
Mm-hmm.
And, the likelihood is Tadej will win a few more stages in this race. So that's looking like a possibility. And also, he's now by 10 points, I think, in lead of the King of the Mountains competition.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible.
It could be what we said, that, since Eddie Merckx, another rider is going to win all jerseys except white.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking, Bradley, when Eddie did that, I think he was 24. And there was no white jersey yet.
No, there wasn't. No.
Okay, no. So otherwise he would have won 4.
Yeah. What do you think about ASO this morning increasing the time delay today? Because based on the performance of Tadej, and had it been 33%, which is about 7.5 minutes, we'd have had quite a few outside the time limit today, at least 10.
Wow. I haven't checked the result. Would it have been 10 riders home?
Spencer had a look. It would have been about 10 riders, 9 or 10.
Oh, wow. And today, nobody home?
No, not today. No, because they increased it to 40.
Yeah. Wow. 40%. Wow. I mean, listen, they know what they're doing, and but did they do that before the start? Yeah, already? Yeah.
They did it this morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, and rules are there. I mean, normally you would say rules cannot be changed during the game, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I think nobody should go home at this point in the race because of a time trial. I mean, it's if it's a hard mountain stage, but I mean, it's true. I mean, I think yesterday, Bradley, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it was very late for me, so I may have misunderstood. But didn't we say it was going to be like about 35-minute effort?
Yeah, I thought it would have been. Yeah.
It was 23.
I know. Incredible.
Yeah. That's crazy. What do you think about? Silently, and the thing what I'm still a bit doubtful of, he has a little bit his ups and downs, but Primoz is there.
Primoz, I'll tell you what, he has ridden a very crafty race. Mm-hmm. Particularly with what he was saying at the start of this tour, that he wasn't interested, he doesn't care about the tour, but for this has been the only tour I can remember for a long, long time that he stayed upright in the first half.
Crashed. He has not crashed at all,
and that was obviously
fingers crossed.
And you know what? Had he committed in the first part of this race and ridden how he normally does and gone for the win, I think he knows now, and he's already said, I'm going to start going to races that Tadej doesn't go to anymore. He's accepted that Tadej is unbeatable in his eyes.
Yeah.
But in terms of getting on the podium, he's ridden the perfect race to this point.
Yeah.
And we anticipate that Remco is going to fall away from the GC massively. I can't see how he can turn the...
I'm afraid so.
So you take Remco out of that third place at the moment. You've got Lipovitz, Onley, Vaclan, and Roglic. That little foursome are now going for that third place. And I wouldn't put money against Roglic getting that third place.
Johannesson is also in the game, I think.
Yeah. A little bit further off.
Yeah, but Primoz is a solid guy, solid. And now when he sees an objective there, because for Primoz, that third spot, that would taste probably like a victory.
Yeah.
In any other Grand Tour. It would equal a victory in the Vuelta or the Giro, in my opinion, behind those two guys, right?
And how did he play it with Lipovitz?
Lipovitz, listen, it's not a bad situation to have for Red Bull, right? So, Lipovitz is obviously discovering himself. He looks great. Today was a stellar performance. For a young guy to be still at that level after 13 days, after this incredible ride yesterday, that's impressive. I don't dislike it for them. They could have one guy on the podium and two guys in the top five.
And what do you think? How do you think this bodes for next year if indeed Remco has gone to Red Bull? Mm-hmm. And what does that mean for Lipovitz if Remco's coming there?
Well, listen, I think we have to if it's true, and I think it's either done or it will happen. Remco goes to Red Bull. Let's not forget this is a super class rider, right? Let's just take the Tour out of the equation.
Oh yeah.
He's top 3, top 5 in the world. So obviously, he's an interesting rider for any team. And also in the case of Red Bull, I would say, if you really aspire to become one of the best teams again, and you look at who's available, all the best guys and the best prospects are with UAE. It's Tadej, and there's Del Toro, and there's Ayuso, and there's Almeida. They're all there on long-term contracts, and they don't seem to want to leave, right? So there's not that many options. Remco is the guy, and then also what we need to take into account is, can Remco still improve when he's in a super, super professionalized environment? Because with the due respect, I think the environment at Soudal Quickstep, it is super professional, but they have more limited resources, And I think that some of the initiatives probably come from Remco himself. If he goes to Red Bull, they have everything, the whole science around the performance covered. Yeah. And, it's brought to you and you just need to buy into it, right? And then everything gets done for you to get to your objective. So I think from that point of view, I think Remco can still improve. Now, can he improve so he can beat at this moment the level of Tadej and Jonas? I'm going to say no. No. I don't see it happening. He would need to improve a lot. But listen, let's not forget, this guy, last year he was third. Now it seems to be not going to work out. He's still in third, right? So, but also, he had a very, very defective beginning of the season. He was 4 months stopped after that crash. This can all catch up now. He came back very strong, won his first race, then he almost beat Tadej in the Amstel, in his second race, and then it kind of went down a bit. And he hasn't been at that level that he expected, So, I think right now for Remco, it's, or maybe something, and maybe he's sick, or maybe he's getting sick. Who knows? It can happen in the Tour, right? Obviously now for Remco, it's going to be a mental game. It's going to be how strong he is mentally, and can he hang in there, and will he fight for 5th or 6th, or will he lose time and go for a stage win? We don't know. But yeah, I would be scratching my head, if I'm the people at the team that hired him for next year, because I think it's clear that he's not saying at Soudal. So whether it's Ineos or Red Bull, I was scratching my head because I would assume that in order to make that transfer, they paid a lot of money. Of money. First of all, the salary, which in my opinion is huge, and then the buyout, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously also some people around him who are going to come with this. The director going to come with him, a soigneur, a mechanic, a teammate. It's a big package, So, I mean, obviously, listen. Today is I think that's the disappointment of the day. But I feel bad for him because
he'll bounce back, I'm sure. We see where it goes from here, but it's as we know, you can have a bad day in the Tour. But, it's a test of his character now, isn't it?
Yeah. No. Listen, this is. We'll see how mentally how strong he is. Just want to touch one last thing about today, Bradley. Everything's prepared. Equipment, communication, strategy. I have this quote here from today's interview. After the stage, she says, "I decided to go without a radio today, so I was just relying on the time checks at the time points. I saw that I was ahead in green at the first check. The second one was a bit bigger, so I knew I was doing a good time trial. I didn't want to blow up, so I reset for the final 3 kilometers because I wanted to come to the last steep part with good legs. And then when he came to the finish, which is also very rare, as you see here in the picture behind me, he saw the green and he made the victory salute, which is rare for time trials. You did that, no? You in your last time trial in the Tour, no?
Yeah.
And the Olympics also?
No, not the Olympics. No.
Okay.
Just
but listen, stage 13. I cannot. Bradley, if you look at the race book and you see the stages they still have ahead, it's quite something.
Yeah. So we've got Mont Ventoux after the rest day. That's going to be a big one. Yeah, La Plagne, of course. Col de la Loze. There's big ones
and
to
then
come.
And then tomorrow's stage on Super Bagnères and Tourmalet. So before we talk about that, I want to talk about our daily Ventum trivia, Bradley. Yesterday's question was about the Hautacam. First time featured in 1994, the Hautacam has earned the reputation as an infamous climb in the Pyrenees, including stage 12 yesterday. How many times has it been featured in the Tour de France? The answer was 7 times in total. Today's question. A climb in today's stage, the high altitude landing strip and finishing location of today's uphill time trial in Peyragudes holds a special significance to one host of this year's The Move Tour coverage. Who is it and why? So the high altitude landing strip in Peyragudes of today's time trial holds a special significance to someone on our team. Who is it and why? I know the answer. Of course, I'm not going to say it. Send your best guess to ventumracing.com/themove, and you can enter into this year's grand prize, $5,000 of store credit towards any Ventum bike you want to purchase. You don't want to wait until the end of the tour for the contest. Ventum is also offering during the remainder of the tour a standing discount of 10% on the whole site using the code TheMove10 at checkout, and 20% on any NS1 road bike you want to purchase with the code NS120. So ventumracing.com/themove. Tomorrow's stage, Bradley, stage 14, 182 kilometers. So, for a mountain stage, quite a long stage, 5,000 meters of elevation with the 2 big climbs, or the Tourmalet and Super Bagnères. There's 2 other climbs. There's the Aspin and the Pays de Sourde. So what they did today until the turn, they do again. So they come from Loudonville. They go up the Pays de Sourde. It's a hard stage, but what do you think? GC Day? Breakaway?
I think Tadej will win again.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very similar to. I think it's going to be very similar to yesterday. I think there'll be a big break in the morning again because everyone will want to try and get into the break.
Mm-hmm.
Lots for it to go as far in the stage as possible. The mountains jersey's still up. There's some big points on the mountains tomorrow. And also lots of people will want to get into the break for sliding space to help their team over the Tourmalet. So I think that it'll be flat out from the start. Of course, you'll have Little Trek as well that will want to try and keep Jonathan there as long as possible for the intermediate sprint before the Tourmalet, which will be a difficult one for them. So I think it's going to be fast and furious from the start.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we hit the Tourmalet. It's a long Tourmalet side tomorrow. And I think, naturally through the day, as the racing picks up, Visma aren't going to stay quiet through the race. They'll have we don't know what tactic they're going to deploy tomorrow, but and I think it'll all come down to Superbanière tomorrow, and there'll be a race, and whether Jonas tries something or not tomorrow, whether Matteo tries to go in the break and get some space, who knows? But I think it will be very similar to yesterday, and Tadej will probably make a move again.
Yeah,
that's as I predict.
I mean, Superbanière is hard. It's a horse category climb also. I mean, anyways, Otakam is also a horse category climb. I personally think that if Jonathan Milan is not in the break, the breakaway has no chance at all. They need to get those points at the bottom of the Tourmalet. And I mean, if I would be Little Trek, I mean, I would just go for that. I mean, it's their only objective. They have nothing else to do in tomorrow's stage.
No.
And once you get to the Tourmalet, then it's clear that nobody of the breakaway is going to make it, because, I mean, even if there's some tactics going on the Tourmalet, which you could potentially say at the beginning, because the first slopes are not so steep.
No.
But still, you can never get far enough ahead with the breakaway to make it to the finish if the break hasn't gone from long before the Tourmalet. So what is it? Is it if we look at the profile? What is it? Is it? So what is it? 70K to the bottom of the
70K. Yeah,
70 kilometers. So it's going to be difficult to get a big. I mean, yesterday was 120 kilometers to the Soulor, and they never got more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something at some point, right? So we'll be back tomorrow. Bradley, thank you, like every day, and speak soon.
See you later.
Okay, bye.